So, what do you see as your role in the community, Jody?
I think as part of the independent media and just a small business within this region, that the role is both to lend a megaphone to the issues that small businesses are facing, and also to be a bridge between a lot of different organizations that have similar goals, and just to facilitate those exchanges of ideas, and to help these groups come together, find their common ground, and then help in whatever way we can as a media to bring their issues forward and help them be successful. That's the main thing that I think that we can offer organizations like Colley or the local Buy Fresh and organizations like that.
Great. And can you talk about your relationship with the local independent community here?
Yeah, we're as a newspaper extremely involved with the different merchant associations and a lot of the small businesses, as well as the arts organizations. A lot of these groups have no advocate in the media, and or even just manpower that we're willing to donate our time, as well as our marketing, our arsenal of like print, online, just our way to really spread news out quick within the small business community. So in a way, we act a lot like a small business journal, as well as like our arts, entertainment, local news publication.
Mm-hmm. And just expanding on that a little bit, you've taken at the East Bay Express a little bit of a leadership role, I would say, in terms of taking a position when it comes to small business. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're new owners to the paper. We bought the paper from a chain a couple of years ago, and did the reverse direction where we went from a chain media to a local independent media. And the whole reason we did that is that we really believe in what the potential is here in Oakland and Berkeley. We have some of the smartest people in the world that are working on these issues. We thought it was really important to do whatever we can to support their effort. We think that it's an important part of making this local region economically sustainable. We don't want this region to turn into any city USA. We think it's extremely vibrant now. Amazing amount of artists and musicians in this community. So anything that helps them kind of get their work shown or get their voice out there is all really good for this market. And that's good business for us too, as a small business in this community. And then outside of just the East Bay, I really see a lot of potential for media in general across the United States, for local independent media to play a, if not leadership role, an extremely helpful role in bringing these issues out in their community. Because each individual business may not have a big marketing budget or a lot of exposure to the community, but local independent media can help them do that.
Great. So now the famous next question that you've been harassing me about for a week and a half. If the local independent community in the East Bay were an animal, what animal would it be and why?
Well, I think I would say the blue whale, which is the largest mammal on Earth, and because small businesses do represent the largest base of businesses in the United States. And the blue whale, even though it's the largest animal, can be run extinct by greed and not understanding the value of it as a resource to the planet. And then also, the blue whale happens to be the loudest animal on Earth. It can shout all the way up to over 180 decibels, which makes it louder than a jet engine. And I just think, like small businesses, if we all got together and shouted that loud, that we would be heard loud and clear, from Oakland all the way to Washington, D.C.
Wow, great answer.
Thanks.
Okay.
That took me 3 weeks to come up.
Awesome. Well, I think it was time well spent. Okay, so let's talk about a time when, if there was one, when you as an individual or business needed support and the local independent community was there for you.
Every day. once you get really involved with your small business community, then you don't really know how you ever lived without it. It is a village within a city of like-minded people and people who just really care about seeing you succeed as much as you care about them succeeding. And I'm constantly leaning on my friends in the business and arts community and vice versa. So I have a lot of advertisers or people that we donate advertising to who are always feeling guilty about what can we do in return. They're the friendships and the business partnerships that we've formed in this community are priceless for the success of my business and the success of our mission and our goals. It's just really kind of inspiring to wake up every day and think about all the things you could accomplish that day in the community. It gives a lot of purpose to what we do. So I don't know if that answered the question, but it makes the job fun. We get actual work done. We accomplish things. We make some positive change together, and it's always a collaborative effort. There's not one thing that can be accomplished with someone just working on their own.
As usual, you've sparked creativity in me, so I'm going to invent a question on the spot. So, one of the things that I'm hoping to show through this project is that, there are a lot of people out there doing amazing work like we've talked about. But in a way, these are sort of role models. And, to me, I've always looked at this community as like, these are the people I want to be around. They're doing fun stuff, like you just talked about. It's a better party. They're making change. They're making the world a better place. Can you talk about, role models and sort of like what the mainstream role model is all about right now, and what this community, which you're very connected to across the country, what this community of organizers and entrepreneurs is all about, and sort of like the differences between them?
Well, I think things are starting to change with the mainstream, but I think what we've seen is just very gross consumerism, that you can never have enough, you can't be cool enough, you can't look good enough. We've been really trained to always want to be shopping and always to be spoon-fed like who our heroes ought to be, whether it's movie stars or rock stars or whatever. It's very pop chart oriented consumerism, and I think a lot of people kind of get this, but I think the new trend is coming back around to what's more underground, what's not quite known yet. That part of this is the media's fault, and the fact that so many of our radio stations across the dial are owned by one company, and there's a whole marketing process behind who gets played on these stations or not. It really has little to do with the talent of the artist in a lot of cases. So one of the things that's kind of fun, and one of the reasons that we like being part of this alternative media business, is that we get to really get entrenched on the local level. And this is true of the small business movement, but we really get the heart and soul of communities and come across some of the most amazingly talented and brilliant people who may not ever be successful on a highly commercial level, but change people's lives and attitudes and tastes every single day.
And they throw a better party.
And they throw a much better party.
Okay, so two more, and you know what they are, so no more surprises.
Okay.